Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of our series on quality, where we look at different teas on the Swedish Stew website that are the same tea but at a different price, and we talk about what you're getting at these different price points. This is not only a reflection of Swedish Stew and the teas I source, but it also helps you understand what does it mean for a tea to be better. What is a better silver needle? Which is what we're going to talk about today, silver needle. So, here we have the Zhe family silver needle, which I think is about $15 an ounce, which is a very good price for silver needle. And then here we have the Wu family silver needle, which I think is about $20 to $25 an ounce, 30 grams, which is still pretty good. You know, silver needles can get expensive, as we're going to see in our next video. I do want to take one moment and just show the leaves, because it is an important point. So here's the Zhe family silver needle. Now the Zhe family silver needle, you can see, is pure buds. Wu family silver needle is buds and a little bit of side leaves. This is not the ideal picking. And some people are going to tell you different, some makers are going to tell you different, but I don't think they actually believe it. This is not the ideal picking. Some people will tell you this is the ideal picking, and I could do a whole video as to why, but basically it's the influence of tea competitions. This is the ideal picking. You want the side leaves. The side leaves are going to add a little bit more flavor, a little bit more body. As we're going to see, this is going to be a little bit bland. So boiling water, always white teas. Please use boiling water. So both of these teas are from Zhe Rong. Both of these teas are 2026, so both of them are new teas. Both of these teas are good for what they are, and I think they're going to have their very different uses. They're very different times of when to drink them, depending on what you're looking for session-wise. So this series is not about how to assess quality. You know, I could talk about liquids and leaf pickings. I did mention leaf pickings. This series is really about what does quality get you? What's your money getting you tea-wise? Here we go, Zhe family. So the Zhe family is a pretty straightforward white tea. It's just a white tea. There's a little bit of lemoniness, there's a little bit of creaminess, there's a little bit of something in there. It's not completely bland. Flavors are pretty simple, flavors are pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of complexity. Wu family. Wu family is a little bit brighter. Wu family is a little more complex. There's a little more aroma to it. There are some similarities in the notes, but this is just a little more springy and just the aroma is a little bit higher. There's a little bit of this going on, a little more refreshing. Now, I will say, in the grand scheme of silver needle, the Wu family is still kind of a middle-level silver needle. It is by no means the top silver needle. Our next video, we're going to taste the Panchi, and that's getting a little bit closer to the top. But I will say, and this is a conversation for future day, when it comes to tea, there really is no top. There's no pinnacle. There's no best. Fuck anyone who tells you that. The Zhe family, you know, so the Zhe family silver needle is objectively not as good of a silver needle, but I kind of like it because it's not so good. I like it because it's just straightforward. You know what you're getting every time. It's a great silver needle for times where you want to drink tea, you want to drink a white tea, but you don't want to think about it. The Zhe family silver needle is also a good example of teas that kind of do, I don't want to say the bare minimum, but kind of check the boxes. You know, I think for every tea, there's a tea that just does what people want in that category and nothing else. Produce the main characteristics of that category and kind of nothing else. So you have yenchas that are just roasty and have no complexity. It's just a roasty flavor. You have a lot of green teas that are just refreshing and floral. This is just kind of white tea. Nothing special, but 10 times out of 10, you could blindly recognize this as a white tea. There's something kind of nice about that. And there is just a little bit of touch of lemony. There is a little bit of touch of cream, kind of like lemon tart. So it is not completely tasteless. Wu family is just fresher, more spring, more like stream water. Once again, Wu family is not the highest level of Silver Needle. We're still kind of dealing in a middle level Silver Needle, but it is a little more complex than the Zhe family. It has a bolder flavor compared to other Silver Needles, like the Silver Needle we're going to taste next time. So I think people who are not huge fans of Silver Needles, they don't like subtle teas, I think they'll still like this one. So yeah, the differences we're seeing here are very, very similar to the differences we saw in the last video with the Jinmudan. Zhe family Silver Needle, very straightforward, very simple. You're getting a little bit of notes, but nothing much. Wu family Silver Needle, a little more complex, a little more floral, a little more aromatic. I do think the differences here are a little more subtle than they were in the Jinmudan, but two very good teas. Like I said, this one's more simple, more straightforward. This one's a little bit nicer, but good for people who don't really want a super complex, super delicate Silver Needle. They just want something hearty and good. Next time, we're going to taste the Zhe family Silver Needle next to the Panchi Silver Needle. That's going to be a good video.